What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's Seven Figures Club podcast. Today, boys and girls, we got a good one. We're going to break down and unpack the magic that happened at the Traffic and Conversion Summit in sunny San Diego, where I was for the last 3 days. It was epic. It was amazing. Can't wait to share the experiences with you. So let's get ready to dive in.
There are over 32 million businesses in the U.S., and over 90% of them will never break seven figures in annual sales. So how do we as entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs break into that seven figures club? This podcast will relentlessly share the secrets, strategies, and tactics I've used to create 3 multi-seven figures businesses and bring in even more successful entrepreneurs than me to share their inspirational stories and tactics to success. You can create your dream business and life right now. So buckle up and let's go.
Well, my friends, goodness gracious, what is today? Today is September the 18th. Is that right? No, September the 16th. Thursday, September the 16th. You should be getting this podcast pretty quickly because I am, getting these out almost in live time to you in real time. So very current, up to date on everything. Yes, we are living in crazy times. The pandemic continues, the Delta variant, but I just think that at the end of the day, people just focus on problems and not solutions. And that, my friend, is why people are always engulfed with problems, and those that focus on solutions are seeing solutions. So that is my take on it. And as I hang around more successful people every day, I believe that more and more. Speaking of hanging out with successful people, this, the last 3 days, I flew out on Sunday to sunny San Diego. We had the Traffic and Conversion Summit. It was spectacular. There were some amazing people there, some amazing entrepreneurs. Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher and Roland Frazier kind of put this event on once a year. And last year, I believe they had to do it virtually, so it was nice to get everybody back in San Diego. It was at the San Diego Convention Center, which is an amazing infrastructure and building and a great place to do this. And the weird thing about this event is it's not everybody going to one place, but you have all these breakout sessions and classes and seminars by experts in so many different topics like social media, marketing, building a business where you're not a slave to time and you're not the bottleneck, and you learn to actually work on the business instead of in the business. There's information about how to build your own events. There's just a ton of amazing entrepreneurs teaching different classes and pieces of the puzzle that entrepreneurship is in getting to the Seven Figures Club. And so it was absolutely fascinating. And on day one, Ryan Dice was talking about one of the facts that, small businesses used to have big advantages on social media. That's not as much the case anymore. And he talked about, it's super important to be able to own your message, own your audience, own your data. All those things are key to actually building a successful business, and it still resonates, it still works, even though you might be competing with bigger companies with bigger budgets. And so that was one thing that he talked about. There was a billionaire there. We had Chip Wilson, the founder of Lululemon, and it was cool to kind of, listen to his take. And one of the things that struck me was he talked about, a certain value and principle, and that was essentially doing what you say you're going to do and following through with those commitments and making sure that everyone on your team, from the top to bottom, are following through with commitments, doing what they say they're going to do. And again, if you do that as a company, it's going to put you in the top 5 to 10% of organizations automatically, because 90% do not. They make commitments they don't keep. They break contracts that they make, and they're constantly, not living up to what they promised they would do. And so that's a huge deal. That was a big takeaway in terms of some values and principles that make a difference. We had the empire builder herself, Martha Stewart, there. And just interesting, she talked about, because she had such great content with her Martha Stewart Living magazine, which she still has, I want to say it was 2 million subscribers today, which is remarkable in a digital world here to have 2 million subscribers to that magazine. And she knew very specifically who her client was, who her avatar was. It was professional women with a family, with a job, or with a business who were trying to do it all, and how they accomplished that. So that was remarkable. And she was actually super funny. I mean, she was just saying all sorts of funny things. So it was amazing kind of listening to her. But just a ton of great entrepreneurs that was able to spend some time with. Steve Sims was there. He's a phenomenal entrepreneur. If you haven't listened to him speak, you should pull him up on YouTube. Pedro Adao, the challenge guy who taught me how to do challenges with our Funding CEO Challenge, was there. So I got to share my success story with him. So just an amazing group of people. And the thing that really we have to understand, and boy, I was such a fool when I was in my 20s when it came to understanding this, is if you want to be successful, and this is what I've heard from so many great people, David Meltzer, who is the CEO of the sports agency, pretty much behind the movie, Jerry Maguire, and he talked a lot about this. He said, find someone who's accomplished, what you want to do with their life, with their business, and ask them for directions, ask them for the roadmap, and they will lay out the path for you to be able to get where you want to go. And that's how success is found. And then, pursuing it relentlessly, creating values and principles, systems, processes, becoming an expert in your field. These are all keys to success and tactics to building a 7 figures and beyond type business. And so I just thought that was, that's what we need to do. We need to reach up, as Grant Cardone says, and he's always trying to, surround himself with billionaires so he can start to think like a billionaire. He can start to execute like a billionaire. And so if you're just getting started, or if you've been at this game a while and you've been stuck, you've got to think differently. And the way you can think differently is by reaching up. There's so many amazing, books out there with the instructions. Chip Wilson published his book. I got a copy of his book, at this event, Traffic and Conversion Summit. There's so many programs, so many YouTube channels that you can learn, and it doesn't cost a lot to be able to reach up and learn. And then as you do that, then you take the next step. Now you're able to, have some money to invest. If you need more money, go to 7figuresfunding.com, and my team will, get you access to capital at 0% interest. But once you have some capital, now you've got to invest in attending these seminars and these events where the best entrepreneurs are, the brightest, the most cutting edge strategies for sales and marketing and systems and processes, and becoming an expert in your field, and digital marketing and social media, all those types of things. And what you do is you start to reach up, because as John Lee Dumas says, we are the sum of the 5, 10 people that we spend the most time with. And so when you start to spend more time with incredibly successful people, I just reached out to my friend and one of my mentors here locally, Bob Millerberg. He's built an 8-9 figure business. He's doing it again. And you just learn so much by finding out and asking them questions. So you meet with someone, who has accomplished what you want to do in life. You don't sit and talk. You ask questions, take notes, and you shut up and you listen. And that's exactly, what I was able to do with Bob. I started before I launched. I sat down for lunch with him, and it was great to reconnect with him. I'm going to have him on this podcast, some amazing entrepreneurs on this podcast. But that's how you do it. You interact with people who are more successful than you. And you know what's interesting? What's fascinating? And what society and the media want us to think? They want us to think, and a lot of people do think this, and they have a scarcity mindset, that people who are extremely successful, the great entrepreneurs, they didn't play by the rules, or they had to hurt somebody to get where they're at, or they're just not really good people. And being wealthy and successful equals you're a bad person. And that's just, for me, that's bullshit. That's not what I've seen. The more I have, been in these circles of great entrepreneurs and small business owners who have built something that is a great product or service, they love their clients. The great ones love their team, love their employees. And they're all about, getting better every day, and they're giving back to amazing charities and programs and philanthropic efforts. And so the more I reach up, the more I realize that the vast majority of these people are phenomenal, and I can learn so much from them. And if you go into those relationships, what can I learn? And number one, what can I give, right? So at this event, for a lot of it, it's, I'm looking for strategic partners who I can work with, whose clients need funding, but what can I give to them? What value can I bring? Can I, cross-market their big event to my email list? Can I share their programs and services with my clients and earn their business so they want to send their clients over to get funding? It's a win-win for them either way, but you always start out with giving first, and then the natural thing is they'll ask what they can do. And of course, as you explain what you do, and if you're a real fit and a strategic partner for their clients, for their business, then that's phenomenal. And really, for me, at the top of my list is a great friend and strategic partner, my friend Steve, who actually invited me and kind of encouraged me to attend this Traffic and Conversion Summit. So there was about 6,500 people at this event, a ton of people there, a ton of vendors, and for a select group, there was about 150 of us that were invited to a yacht party, and it was put on by Pete Vargas and Keith Yackey, two amazing entrepreneurs who have been in this industry, digital marketing and events and whatnot. They're published authors. And so we go to this yacht. It's this big yacht, and we're hanging out in the San Diego Bay, just going out there. And we're out late, and there's an amazing, charitable cause there that's presented to us. And I think a lot of us have become a lot more aware of the reality that sex trafficking is happening, and it's happening on a large scale, and it's happening on our watch in our country, and we've got to put a stop to it. And so this organization actually helps those who have kind of survived that, because they need a lot of rehab and help to kind of reintegrate into society and get their lives back on track after going through something as traumatic as sex trafficking. And so there was a lady there, she and her husband, and she shared her story of being trafficked around the globe for a few years. And it was crazy, and now it's taken her years to get back on track and be able to come back and spend time with her kids and be with her family and all those types of things. And so it takes a lot of money to do that. And so the whole idea behind this yacht party was, hey, let's all get together, let's network, let's help build each other's businesses, because that's how you do it. You get with really successful people, and there's energy and synergy where you can work together and both create value in each other's businesses. And so that's what this was about. But then there's this charitable component, this philanthropic worthy cause, and it was pretty amazing. The goal was to raise $100,000. We actually ended up raising $600,000, and my friend Steve, my goodness, blew me away. He actually committed like $175,000, to this amazing charity organization that's helping people get back on track and rehab after going through sex trafficking. And of course, I was inspired, so I was able to contribute to a mastermind group that pretty much all the proceeds are going to be going to that charity. So I'm looking forward to hanging out, rubbing elbows, meeting up with these amazing people that I can learn from. And the thing that was so great about this event was every time you would reach out and you'd talk with someone, you would get to know them, you would network. And sometimes I'm pretty much in the middle. I'm not completely extroverted. I'm certainly not completely introverted. So I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, and I can spend time on both sides. So I'm kind of a 50-50 guy, but it's still, it's not the easiest thing to go reach out and talk to new people that you have no idea. But the more you do it, you get really good at it. And I started to get pretty good at connecting with people and finding out what they did. And you ask questions, and it's a great thing to be able to learn to do. And so the more you do that, the more you grow, and you are the sum of the people you spend the most time with. So reach up and spend time with successful people who can teach you the path to prosperity, and good things are going to happen, my friends. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. The Traffic and Conversion Summit, attending something like that event is going to propel your business. It's going to give you new ways to think about growing your business, and you're going to be able to learn. And so it's about reaching up, getting those mentors, and of course having the opportunity to, and you're going to have to make investments. The best investment you can make is in yourself and within these groups, and so that's what it's all about. So take action, reach up, find online mentors, find mentors in your community, ask them questions, and always ask them, find out what their biggest challenges are in their business, and you'll be surprised. You might be an expert about this thing, and that's what I found. We've done some stuff with affiliate programs and some software and some different things, and there are people that are way more successful than me, but they struggle with some of those specific things that I've recently become kind of an expert in and seen success with. And so that's where you can share and really help lift, provide some solutions to them, even though you would think, man, they're 10 times more successful than me with their business. What could I possibly offer them? And there are things that you can offer them in terms of, expertise in certain areas where they're not, and sharing with them and finding out what their struggles are, because even though they might have built a $50, $100 million or larger business, they have struggles to be sure. And so if you can provide value there, they'll be very inclined to reciprocate. And that, my friends, is win-win in entrepreneurship, in business. That's how you join the 7 Figures Club. So take action. God bless you. Make it happen. And we'll see you next time on the flip side of the 7 Figures Club podcast.
Are you looking for more 7-figure secrets, content, or even how you can launch your own recession-proof business? Then check out 7figures.com. That's the digit 7, FIGURES.com, where we share more videos, stories, strategies, funding solutions, entrepreneurial education, and even the secret business type that's recession-proof. Thank you for listening, and if you're finding value in our podcast, please give us a 5-star and invite others to join the club.